Good morning. Today we're going to compare the SOG PowerPint and the Leatherman Skeletool and see which one is the best EDC for me. I've had this one for over a year and this one for over a month, and I think I can make a good assessment as to which one would be the best EDC for me, personally. So we'll start with the knife, because for me, the knife is the most important tool in a survival or emergency situation. So for the PowerPint, we have this 2-inch blade. So let's see. So it's around 2 inches. And it's not really a big knife, but it really comes in handy when you need it. On the other hand, we have the Skeletool CX with its 154 cm blade, and it's really a nice knife. It's around, the cutting edge is 2.5 inches. It's really a good knife blade, and it's definitely the winner here. So next, we'll take a look at the pliers, which is my second criteria for selection. And the pliers of the SOG PowerPint is pretty good. The point is not that precise, but it's usable. It's got a long nose, bolt gripper, soft wire cutter, and hard wire cutter. So you can say the same for the Skeletool's pliers. So it's a semi-long nose. The tip is very precise, so you can almost not see the separation there. And then, of course, it's got long nose pliers, bolt gripper, soft and hard wire cutters, and yeah, pretty good. So we'll compare them, and I would say that the Skeletool's pliers edge out the PowerPint's pliers. The quality is just so much better. My third criteria is the number of available tools. So the Skeletool CX has this bit driver. It's locking. And it's got 2 Phillips. And there's a spare bit available. And we have 2 flatheads. So definitely useful. And the reach is also good. Now the PowerPint also has a bit driver, so it's actually here on this one. So let's so you just clamp the bit here, and you can have a screwdriver also, but there are no available bits, so you just use standard bits. Now it's not locking, but it's pretty much stuck in there unless you let go. So the leverage of these handles actually keep it there. So it's pretty good. But overall, I would say that the bit driver of the Skeletool wins in this case. The other tool that the Skeletool has is this bottle opener, and I suppose this carabiner here. But you do have this bottle opener. So that might come in useful at the end of the day when you want to open a bottle of beer or something. So the PowerPint, of course, also has its own bottle opener. And it's small and tiny, but it works. Definitely works. I've tried it. Aside from that, there's a host of other tools that come in useful. So we have these scissors, more of snippers actually, and they're actually pretty good snippers. So it cuts hair and threads very well. Maybe not so much bigger ropes, but it's still useful. And then we have here the Phillips head pliers, the small version. So you would need a bit for a bigger Phillips, but then you have these smaller Phillips. Then you have a can opener, and again, this is a useful tool. I've tried it and it works pretty well. And then you have an extra blade, a serrated one, so it would be good to have a spare one. On the other side, we have a file here, single direction and cross cut. So there's also a belt or rope cutter here. And then we have a small flathead screwdriver. So again, for a bigger flathead, you'd need to use bits. And then you have here an awl. It's got this hole for threading through. And then it's got this tiny ruler. So it's got inches and centimeters. Useful, at least to give you an idea of the scale of things. And then there's also this protractor. Supposedly it's a protractor, but it's a little bit hard to use. So there are degrees, angles there. And then measure the angle based on the handles. So yeah, this PowerPint definitely has a lot more tools than the Skeletool CX. Let's take a look at their weights. The PowerPint is at 117.9 grams or 4.16 ounces. And the Skeletool is 146.1 grams or 5.15 ounces. PowerPint is 3.5 inches long. The width is 1 inch at its widest, and at its narrowest, it's just a little bit under an inch. For thickness, it's just over half an inch. It does narrow down at the other end, and here it's just about half an inch. For the Skeletool, it's just over 4 inches. The width is 1¼ inch, and it narrows down a little bit to 1 inch at the other end. For the thickness, it's 2/3 of an inch, and then it narrows down to 1/3 of an inch. What these all means in practical terms is that the PowerPint is very easy to carry. It literally disappears into your fifth pocket. You can of course carry it clipped to a regular pocket. The same cannot be said for the Skeletool. It protrudes quite a bit from the fifth pocket. But you can carry it clipped to a regular pocket just fine. And of course you can also clip it onto a belt loop. So between the two, I really like the Leatherman Skeletool CX. The quality is just better. So the knife is better, the pliers are better, the bit driver is better, the availability of bits is also a good thing. But the carryability of the SOG PowerPint and the availability of tools when you need them, even though they're not the best, really wins it for me. So for me, the winner is the SOG PowerPint, and I'm definitely going to be carrying it more. But it doesn't mean that I won't be carrying the Skeletool. There will be occasions when I definitely be carrying as well. What about you? Which one would you choose? Please comment down below and let's discuss. Thank you for watching.